A lot of my classmates, they had never known what it felt like to really be underrepresented in a place. And so I noticed while we were in Japan, oftentimes if we were in a subway station, and of course we're surrounded by thousands of Japanese people, we're all packed on a subway, and they did not know what that felt like to be the minority in an area. And so I guess it was kind of neat for me because I was able to kind of respectfully inform them on, it's okay, your feelings are natural, they're normal.
So we were talking about how here, like the people here aren't afraid to walk up to us, even though they don't know English. They're just willing to interact with us, and it's completely different back home. Whereas like they're not afraid of us, they're willing to interact. And back in the States, literally like even on campus grounds, like you're kind of viewed as an outsider, or even the students, even though you're a student or part of the population at Ohio State, like you can tell that people are afraid of you and aren't just willing to walk up to you. And just for the fact that we have a language barrier and he's still willing to interact with us, just kind of shows that they really aren't afraid of us. They just see us as another person.
Especially in Uganda, since it is an African country, it felt nice being a minority, but being in a place where everyone looked like me and seeing maybe white Americans or Asian Americans or whoever being the minority for a change. It was really kind of cool seeing that. And although I was still an other in that situation, I felt like comfortable.
When I was with all of my friends for my trip, I felt like I was pretty comfortable with the surroundings. I could help people if they had any questions on types of food or what to wear or even cultural questions. I felt pretty comfortable answering those. But when I was not with them, when I was with my family or with just walking around on campus, I did feel like a minority because even though I am Indian, I grew up in America, so I feel like that put me in a different perspective. To them, I wasn't Indian, I was kind of like an Americanized Indian. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just that I was different. So I did feel like a minority when I was with people who were born and raised in that area. I got to kind of break down some stereotypes, I guess, that they had about what Americanized Indians, like who they are. So that was really important, and it was a weird experience to go through, but I think overall it was a really good one that I learned a lot from.
Instead of being afraid of you because you're different, it's kind of a fascination because you're different. They get curious and want to know, what it's about and everything. And it's the same way with us, where it's like in America, it's just a whole different culture. If people don't understand you, and they kind of want to stay away from you, don't want to learn anything, and just be in their own skin. It's more comfortable for them. It's all about comfort zones, and I think all of us are used to being out of our comfort zones. So coming over here to China is a different dynamic than somebody who's not used to being, international, being from Mexico or having African roots or anything, coming here and not being part of the majority of people. So.
When I was in Japan, I had long braids. And a Japanese guy, he was probably in his 70s or 80s, actually came up to me and pulled my braids, and just like in wonder and awe. And like I wasn't offended at all, but I was just like, oh wow, this guy's really pulling on my braids. And so, I'm sure he was just so curious and amazed by them. And so I guess it's been interesting to kind of see the parallel between how I felt there and how I felt here. And I guess I'm just a lot more aware of students that I noticed may be underrepresented in their classes, international students in particularly, who may not understand all of our cultural norms that we have here.